Hello, today we're going to talk a little bit about transitions and animations, and yes, they are two different things. So, what you want to do is make sure that your slideshow is complete first, whether you're in fifth grade and working on the Teaching Others project or in fourth grade and working in the All About Me project. You are want to make sure that all of your slides are done and complete, and then we're going to go in and add the animations afterwards. The first thing we're going to do is choose a transition. The transitions are used between slides. So it's how we move from one slide to another during presentation mode. So very easy to choose. Right up here says transition, slide transition, and then you can choose which slide transition you want to create. So from here, there's a dissolve, a fade, slide to right, left, flip, cube, and gallery. So if we hit dissolve, and we hit play so we can kind of see what that looks like, that's what the dissolve looks like. You can change the speed at how fast or how slow something happens. So let's say I put this down to slow, it'll take 3.9 seconds. That's a long, like, doesn't sound long, but it's a long time for it to actually dissolve in completely. See how long that took? We could go really slow all the way down to, you have to hit stop before you can move things, all the way down to, I think it's like 5 seconds. And if you look at this, you can see how slow. And sometimes that's a little painful for your viewers. So you want to make sure you don't pick anything that's too slow, especially when we do the animations. So again, like if you notice here, I can't drag this. If that ever happens, you just have to stop it first. It won't let you change anything until you hit stop. So I'm going to put this somewhere around 1.5 seconds. I don't think anything long. I think anything longer than that's too long. That's a quick dissolve in. Now, what's nice is you can just apply this to all of your slides. So if you're happy with the dissolve, let's hit stop. You have the option to apply to all the slides. So every time you transition, it'll automatically do that. I suggest doing that because it keeps your presentation more coherent. So it's like it's the same transition every time. Some people like to get fancy and put a different transition in between every slide. And sometimes that starts looking a little junky and a little bit just too much happening. So I would pick a transition that you like and stick with it. I'll just show you one more just so you know. Here's the cube. If I play the cube, this is what the cube looks like, which is kind of neat. All right. So whichever one you decide on, pick it, apply it to all slides, and that's done. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to leave it on the cube, and I'm going to go to present mode so you can see if I hit present mode and I go to click to the next slide, I applied the fade. So that's why the fade's showing up. I never hit apply to all slides for the cube. I was just a preview. So you can see how it just fades in between each. Now, if I escape out and I change this to the cube and I apply it to all my slides, now when I go back to the start and hit present, you can see it looks totally different. When I click, it's a cube, and that's how it's going to transition through the whole slideshow. So pick a transition you like, apply it to all your slides, and then you can go ahead and close that. You're done with that. All right, the other thing we're going to do today is animations. You can animate anything that you add onto a slide. So it could be a text box, it could be the picture, it could be the caption to the picture. Anything you add into a slide, you can animate. So for instance, if I click my box around this All About Me title, okay, it puts a box around it. That's how I know what I'm going to animate. And I come up to tools. Is it tools? No, it's not. It is insert, and then down here, animation, because we're inserting an animation onto the slide. Okay, it's going to open up another window on the side, and you can see what I have selected, the All About Me title box, and then it asks you what you want to do. Do you want it to fade in? There's a million of these you can play with. All right, so I'm going to have it fly in from the top. I want it to come in from the top down to the bottom. And then you have this option here, on click, after previous, with previous. This gets very tricky, very complicated when you start linking things together. My suggestion, since you're all just starting this, is just to do it on click. That means every time you click your mouse in present mode, something new will happen. If you do it with after previous, it means after the transition happens, that's going to automatically come in afterwards. If you do it with previous, it means as the transitioning's happening, it's flying in at the same time. So you have to kind of look at those prepositions after and with. So it does kind of get a little bit confusing. So if you want to play with those, you can. Otherwise, you can just stick with on click. So, and then again, you have that slide bar. Do you want to do it fast? Do you want to do it slow? And then you can kind of play with that as well. So if I hit play, it transitioned in. And now since I chose on click, it's not going to fly in until I click. And then you can see it slide in. I'll show you the difference now. If I do it after previous and I hit play, it's going to transition in. And then when that's done, it's going to slide in on its own. I didn't have to click. If I do it with previous and I hit play, it's going to happen at the exact same time. It transitions in and it slides down. So that's the same. So let's say I leave this after previous so I don't have to worry about it. Now I want to animate my name. I click on that box. So everything has to have its own animation. So I said, okay, I want to add an animation to this. Again, you can see which one I'm working on because it shows it right here. I'm going to have this one fly in, or actually I want it to fade in. I want this to fade in pretty quickly. And now here's where we have the on click versus with versus after. So here we go, play. So I have this automatically come in. And now since I have the fade in on a click, this won't come in until I actually click it. And then it comes in. Okay. I'm going to show you now, instead of on click, if I show it after. So what should happen is we should transition in. All About Me should slide down. And then after that, this should come in next. So if I hit play, the transition happens, the title slides down, and then that fades in after. If you do it with, it means that the title and the subtitle is going to come in at the same time. So the with previous means it's happening with this one. So watch how this one looks. It spins in, the title drops down, and that fades in at the same time. So you can kind of play around with the different options there, how you want to animate each of your slides. The only thing that I do want to point out here is that the animations work in the order that they're listed in. So right now, the title comes in first and then this fades in. If I can actually click and drag this up, and now it's a different order. So now if I play this, actually, I think I have this still set to with. So if I play this where it happens, where I have the title come in after the previous, watch what happens now, because I changed the, remember, think of it as reading down the list. So if I hit play, this is going to spin in. It's going to fade in first, and then this comes down because I have this listed as after whatever in front of it. So you have to think about what order you want things to happen in, and you can change it in the order here, just clicking and dragging them in what order you want them to happen in. If you accidentally put two animations on the same thing, you can delete them. Just click on it to open it and then hit delete if you accidentally have two over there. So you can go through, play with your different slides, decide what once try to add at least one animation on each slide. You can animate everything or one thing at a time, whatever you want to do, but you do need a transition between each slide, and I do like to see at least one animation on each slide. Okay? And then when you're done, my suggestion to you would be to hit present and actually work through your presentation and click on it and see how it looks to make sure everything works correctly. Okay? When you're done your slideshow today, you can go ahead and turn it in to me that way, or Mr. Cratchwell, that way we know that your slideshow is complete. And 5th grade, you will then move on to making your forms. And 4th grade, this is actually the end of this project. We're going to I'll post them for you so that you can share and look at them with each other. Okay? If you have any questions, as always, leave a comment in Classroom and we will get back to you as quickly as we can. Good luck, and I hope you have fun with this.